Hi, everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to your kind of regular Saturday night live stream. Usually, again, we do it on Saturday nights or Sunday nights. So, yeah, welcome, everybody. We have a few people kind of waiting. There was a few people that put some comments. So, yeah, we'll have a bit of a chat, kind of talk about the last couple of videos that I did. If anyone has any questions, you're more than welcome to ask them in the comments. I do try to keep up with the comments. Obviously, sometimes there's a lot more comments than me chatting. So I'm sorry if I kind of skip something or I miss something. Thank you already for 18 likes. That's very nice of you. Whoever's done likes on the live stream already, thank you. Just be aware, I do look over to the side a lot because I've got a screen just over here. I have the screen in front of me and I've got one over to this side. I'm not using my one on this side today. So yeah. Oh, more likes. Even as I'm talking, there's more likes. So yeah, chat away in the chat to each other. If you want to make it easier to chat to other people, just put the @ symbol first and then start typing their name or their screen name, I guess. And then it will highlight and then it'll come up on their chat as a highlighted message to that specific person, if that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, Foodery is here. Hello, Foodery. Foodery has a YouTube channel who I met via a weekly stream that I watch about how to create a YouTube channel. And I like watching it every Tuesday night. It is on here. Talking about how to create a better YouTube channel or how to create a better YouTube experience for other people watching channels, I guess. So yeah, good evening, Foodery. Yeah, so it is currently 9:33 p.m. here in Moscow. I am a little bit later, well, probably about the right time, but a little bit later than I wanted to do the live stream. I did put out a community poll a little bit earlier, asking if people wanted to do the live stream on it. It was kind of like a 50-50 thing. So the whole thing with the electronics store, today I went to my local shopping center, which is literally a 10-minute walk from my house. We have a little small shopping center, three-level shopping center. Well, it's 2 levels, but it's actually, no, it's 3 because the new section is a 3rd level. And I went to kind of a home white goods electronics store. It's not very big, the one I went to, but I'll try to have the video a few hours after this live stream. So depending on where you are in the world, you might be able to watch it tonight still or tomorrow maybe. So yeah, there's a few people here. Yeah, so Foodery John, hello. How's it going? John Stanicki, hello. Dark Dragov, yo, hello. Yes, Mark, how's it going? Oh, Mac, I guess Mark, right? Yeah, Mac or Mark. Hello, Lacey. Hello. Yeah, it's obviously a lot of people that are already have watched previous live streams by me, and obviously there'll be some new people. So yeah, welcome if you're new to the live streams. I am at home today. There's no park behind me. This is the kitchen where I am here. I was just sort of noticing that the fruit bowl happens to be right on the table right here. We just bought some grapes and plums from here where we live, literally downstairs in the kind of car park. There's a guy there every day selling fruit and vegetables from the back of his car. So on the way home earlier from filming this video, we bought some fruit and some fruits, and we bought some cucumbers as well. Russia is a beautiful country. Yes, hello. I don't see that there is any moderators in the channel today, so I did ask 3 different moderators if they would be here. I just give them a little bit of notice ahead of time before the live stream goes live. So hopefully we have some nice kind of peaceful comments and nothing too untoward. So yeah, thank you if everybody keeps it nice and nice. Sorry if that's the right word. Lorraine, hello, how's it going? Lorraine is one of our channel members. Thank you for joining. I think it was last week when we had the live stream and I kind of messed up with who was able to comment and who wasn't. So yeah, if you're continuing on as a member, thank you. I do try to put the videos out a little bit earlier. I don't seem to have a lot of success with it because I'm too excited to put a new video live. Typically, I film within a day or two of putting a video on the channel. I'm not like a week ahead or a week behind like a lot of streamers or YouTubers are. They might be 2 or 3 weeks ahead in real life to what they're putting on their channel. So I pretty much do everything fairly similar timing. So what about restaurant videos? I did try to do a live stream in the sushi place with my wife. We didn't really have an ideal setup when we went. So I guess I could go to the food court or something and film something at the food court. Superman says, have I tried to learn Russian? If so, then how proficient are you? Not very proficient. I would say 2 or 3 or 4%. I'd say 5%, but my wife would say it's less. I can do greetings, some numbers, hellos, goodbyes, sort of products and word, names of things. All kind of the words that you don't normally learn when you're learning Russian or a language, I tend to learn. So, Anonymous, hello. Sorry, I'm not sure who you are. Well, you're anonymous, right? I'm 1 hour ahead. Oh, that's good. Saud, that's very nice. Yeah, so 9:38 now here. So, yeah, I put a poll as well. 40 votes on the poll, which is very, very neat. Half want to see a supermarket video, 50%, 40% want to see electronics store, and 10%, it's changing as we're talking. 12% want to see a furniture store. Yeah, so I did the one at Hof the other day. Actually, that wasn't a very big Hof. I don't know. Of course, if you guys have seen the last couple of videos, obviously it helps what we're talking about. I did talk to the guys at the kind of information counter. I kind of talked to them before I went in, and then I chatted to them when I went out. The one guy came and asked me what the channel is that I'm making the video on. He was obviously pretty keen to watch the video. And he said to me, oh, this is not the biggest Hof. There's one in Kimki, which is in the northeast of Moscow, which is even bigger, like twice or nearly 3 times the size of the one that I filmed in. So I'm not sure if anyone wants to see another furniture store. Based on 48 people, 12% don't want to see. So I guess that's probably only 2 or 3 people. I guess which one or choosing one, I guess you kind of know that it's videos that I make on the channel. So Colette O'Connor, hello, how's it going? Good to see you watching the channel. Can we have a video about education in Moscow? I'm not very educated myself. I guess other YouTubers might be doing that kind of thing. I know like Ellie from Russia, her channel covers a lot more specific topics. Inside Russia, Konstantin does some things like that. Maybe not specifically about education, but about the whole life in Russia kind of thing. Trojan Z, hello. So again, I hope we don't have to delete anything or I'm not reading anything that's not right. So I'm sorry. How is the weather in Moscow? It's a little bit cool. Actually, right now, outside my window, it is 5.2 Celsius. That's the temperature on the balcony. Well, outside the balcony window here, you can see we've got big windows. Oops. Right here, like floor-to-ceiling windows in the kitchen. Actually, my computer screen says 5 degrees as well, which is kind of I guess that's what, like the Yandex weather, or the Yandex is the web browser here, or the Yahoo, Google weather, whatever you call it. 25 point, it's 26. It's just ticked over. That's the temperature here in the kitchen. So that's the kind of the room temperature. We've got central heating in our apartment here, which is pretty common in everybody's housing in Russia. Well, pretty much everyone that I would know. So yeah, it was a little bit cooler today. I don't know, did it get to even 10 Celsius today? I didn't check what the maximum was during the day. I did go out in a t-shirt and this shirt and a sweater today. I probably should have worn a thicker jacket, but I knew I was only going to be out for a few hours. Kind of walked down to the shops, walked back. It's about a 15-minute walk from here. So yeah, it's getting cooler. It's basically the autumn time now, so all the leaves are falling. It's actually really beautiful if you walk around where some of the older trees are here. All the leaves all over the place, with the big leaves that you used to collect when you were kids. You remember picking them up and throwing them everywhere. So Yeah, it's really nice just walking around, particularly the older areas with the bigger trees in the area here. Greetings from Boston. Christopher, hello, how are you going? Good, Leo, another long-time watcher of the channel. Nice to see you back online. Thank you. Yes. I was thinking of doing it either today or tomorrow live. Today I was actually going to go to the supermarket at my big shopping center at Solaris. That's the shopping center where I would catch the bus to get on the metro. That's where the Globus supermarket is. And I was going to film there, actually. I was sort of tossing up between going there or staying here and filming this electronics. I'm going to call it electronics store. It's more like a home white goods kind of store because it's not big, but it has fridges and all sorts of things, TVs, kettles. So, yeah. West Boston. We've got a super chat here from Arun. Thank you very much. Sorry, if there's a super chat, I'm gonna just skip ahead to them and I'll come back to the chat. I don't think we get that busy that I have to kind of only do super chats as replies to people, but a super sticker, thank you. Goal, I guess that's running. I don't know. Is that running in the picture? It doesn't show when I put it on the screen here, but it shows in my comments over this side. Greetings from Boston. So yeah, thank you, Arun. That's very nice of you. Super chats basically come back into the channel, helps pay for running the channel if there was such a cost. Most of the costs tend to go towards the microphones, the headphones that I use for doing the editing, my new wireless microphones that I recently got brought over from New Zealand by Ben. He brought them with him. I bought them online and he brought them over. So yeah, thank you. Pretty much everything ends up in my wife's wallet anyway. And then she gives me like, a few percent of that for me to actually spend myself. So my wife is really the financier of the family. How is healthcare in Russia compared to Australia? Essentially, there's free healthcare. I don't have a lot of dealings with it here. I've never actually been. Actually, I've been to the hospital once when I kind of hurt my leg quite badly climbing over the seats at the football stadium. But yeah, we actually live right up the road from the public hospital. It's at the end of the street out the window here. Well, it will be, as I'm pointing, it's that direction. Straight ahead of me, about 5 minutes, or maybe 10 minutes walk at the most. Yeah, they were very good. It's a little bit awkward in public hospitals. You do end up in a waiting line or a queue. You can kind of get around that if you're willing to kind of be nice to the nurses and doctors. I don't know if I can really compare it to Australia. Again, I rarely go to see a doctor or a hospital for anything that I have to deal with. My wife had a few things going on back in Australia. We ended up doing the things over here because she preferred the process of the healthcare that she got over here, and actually how quickly she could get things done here. And also, it was considerably cheaper here too. She did it through private healthcare. So yeah, I mean, can I say it's better? I guess that's an opinion. Again, I don't really deal with it that much. So excuse me, I've got myself a drink prepared because every now and again I get incredibly thirsty chatting away here. Russell, it's great to see you still in Russia. I think it would be good to see the everyday life in Russia and also about the life in general. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that today when we were walking around. There'll be kind of a special guest on the live stream. No special guest. There'll be a guest in the video where I walked in the shop today, and we kind of talked about it. I mean, like filming on the street where we live. A lot of people will be really looking around like weirdly, who's this guy? What's this guy doing? And things like that. If I film in the streets where I live, it's easy to go into Moscow and do that than it is to film it here. 234 Screech, hello, how's it going? Have you tried Tahoon? I guess you're talking about herbal soda. I have tried Tahoon. It's kind of a lime green kind of color. I don't really like it. Typically, we have it when we go to friends' houses and it's on the table, or it's either that or compote, which is basically like fresh drinks or juices and things like that. I'll drink tahum, but I don't have it at home to drink in the house here. My wife doesn't drink it either, so the job interview has been put back. I don't know. I think it's Tuesday. It didn't end up happening these last couple of days at the end of this week. It's kind of now, it's not, it is going to happen. So, but it's kind of just put back a few days. It's kind of a bit of a done deal because I already know the person who wants me to work for that company, and what's called the onboarding process to kind of go through and get hired. I have to do that because that's their system that they have. It's not a matter of just, let's say, go to this ship to join a ship. I have to go through the onboarding process. So have you spoken to Constantine lately? I've chatted to him. I've not talked to him physically, if that makes sense. I just chatted to him on Telegram, just briefly back and forward. How's things going? You know, he's asking me. So yeah, not had a kind of conversation with him. It kind of goes weird like that. We don't talk for a few days and we talk a whole bunch in one day. So temperatures are dropping here in the UK. Yeah, I think as winter kind of comes in the northern hemisphere, right? What kind of trees? Oak, maple, birch, beech. I don't know what type of trees. They drop the leaves. No, we don't have in Australia. That was the one thing my wife noticed. We don't have a lot of trees. Most Australian trees don't drop their leaves. So unless they're basically a foreign tree or a imported species, in Australia where we live, there wasn't trees that drop their leaves, where it's obviously quite noticeable here. So I'm in the city, Lorraine. Hello, what about Mayanov? I'm not sure what Mayanov is, if it's a place. What about a review of Mayanov? Mayansnov? I don't know this place, I'm sorry. Do I get bored of going to the supermarkets and shops? I've been to all of them before, particularly like the one like talking about Globus supermarket. That's my local one at the shopping center. It's about half an hour by bus to get there from here. It's literally down one highway and you're there. It's very super friendly, that one. They don't have any problems with you filming, although you can film anywhere in public. Sometimes they look at you a bit funny. They might question you, you explain the situation, but they're very kind of camera friendly or YouTube friendly, that Globus supermarket. So I like going to new shopping centers that I've not been to before. I'm still amazed by how many there are throughout Moscow region. I mean, probably 30, 40 shopping malls within an hour car ride, which is just insane. I mean, the one thing that's forgotten a lot is the population here. The documented and undocumented populations, 15, 16, 17 million people. So, so it's a lot. Am I a student? No, I'm not. I'm far from being a student, if you're asking me. No, I basically was working on cruise ships before coming to now live in Russia. I was working in the onboard duty-free shops, selling liquor, tobacco, chocolates. Very similar when you fly through an airport and they've got the shops, what they call the duty-free shops. I do that, but on a cruise ship. That makes sense. Mayanov is a popular city. It's kind of popular in big cities. Okay, I still don't know it. Hello from Poland. Robert, how's it going? Another channel member. Thank you for being a channel member. That's very nice of you to support the channel. Or maybe you're asking each other things here. Hello from Glasgow. Hope you are well. Yes, thank you. Sheree Drop. So it's not a single private. No, they have public healthcare here, which is free, and then they have private healthcare as well. Someone's doing fireworks outside. I just heard some fireworks going off. Yeah, you've got both options available to you. The hospital where we live is a public hospital. The private ones are not in this town where we live. There is private clinics if you want to see a doctor privately or just a physician. Obviously, you can pay and do that. Or if you go to the hospital, then you're in a line, so to speak. So, hello. I'm not sure. Привет. I'm not sure of your name. I can't read Russian spelling particularly well unless it's the name of a metro station. Visiting a tech shop is definitely worth it. I've heard that they are going to sell used old iPhones under a Russia tech brand or something. Yeah, actually, today at the shop where we were at there, they did have iPhones. They didn't have the 14 in this store. They had the 13 Pro Max. They had all of the current iPhones. They didn't have Samsung new models like 21, 22 in this shop. They have it in my other shops. They had just the very classic like A23 and A21 Samsungs. Yeah, they're all basically brand new manufacturer covered products. The 14 you can buy from other stores, or you can order them through other stores and get them delivered, or you pick it up whenever they're brought to Russia. And then the other one, this store didn't have the Google Pixel, but you can actually order that and get it within the next 7 days. I think it just came out in the US, Pixel 7 Pro, and they've got it already for ordering here in Russia. So howdy from Kenya. Love your show. Thank you. We have 62 likes on the live stream. So thank you very much for that. Am I going to visit St. Petersburg? I wanted to visit Dima from Russia, the channel, but he now left. My wife has some friends in St. Petersburg. Kazan, we don't have a plan to go to. Have I tried to connect with Tim Kirby? He's an American living in Russia and is active on social media. No, I don't know him actually, Tim Kirby. I kind of started a English-speaking YouTubers group on Telegram. There's 27 of us in the group now. So most of the ones that you may watch are in that group. Not everybody, but yeah, so I don't know Tim Kirby, unfortunately. I don't think there's any Americans in that group, in our group of people. British, lots of Russians, of course, but they create YouTube channels in English. That was the point of it. How do you feel about Russian cities canceling New Year celebrations, especially St. Petersburg? Well, I'm actually in Moscow, so I guess it's the choice of the local administration if they're choosing to do that. I think there's kind of like on the news that I read, which is via Yandex and Zen on Yandex, some have sort of said it's the wrong thing to do, and some say it's the right thing to do. So I guess, it wouldn't look, they did it in Australia. I'm going to talk about COVID in Australia and things like that. I mean, they canceled the New Year's stuff and Australia Day things during COVID. And, and the odd person here and there, carried on about it, but it wasn't a problem really. You know what I mean? If you're outdoors, there's not a COVID issue if you're not in large crowds, So I guess I don't really have an opinion on them canceling it. It's not easy to uncancel things here like they are at home, you know what I mean? Outcry to get it to be uncancelled. What is your job, Russell? Yeah, so I was working on cruise ships for a lot of years, nearly 20 years. Sort of now been home since COVID, so it's now 2 years, over 2 years now since I've been home from cruise ships. Essentially for now I'm doing YouTube, so this is my job, creating YouTube content for this channel, and I am trying to do some on my cruise channel called I Like Cruise Ships. I'm not having a good success doing them over there. Obviously I'm not on a cruise ship, so it's hard to make videos about cruise ships when you're not on them. So Susie, how's it going? I did see your comment on the last video. I didn't quite answer. The comments are coming way too quick for me to answer everyone's comments now on YouTube videos. So I'm sorry if you have written a comment. I know I saw yours specifically about linen and towels. So I'm sorry I didn't answer your comment just yet. Evening to your wife. Yeah, my wife's watching TV in the other room. They've got like the voice Russia is on. So and that's 9 o'clock on Saturdays, which is just kind of before the live stream started. Slow chat means, yeah, I put slow chat on because in the last few times it's gone too fast. So I put it on slower, so it's not so much you can't type more, but it just slows down how quickly the chat comes up. Most of the couple of times I've done this, it's been too quick, the chat. So I'm sorry. Yeah, Putin says, yeah, so basically they have intakes twice per year, I believe. I'm not 100% certain on this exact rule. And they're the intake is basically over for what they required, I guess. Or is it just a play to grab men who may return home? Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, look, would people do that after the next 2 weeks once the intake is over? They have a twice yearly intake anyway, so yeah, I mean, look, I guess they've kind of reached their numbers that they were happy with, that they were kind of wanting, I guess, if you could call it that. So yeah, that would be interesting if people do flock back home, so to speak. Have you been somewhere far from Moscow? In Siberia? No, Robert, I haven't. No, I've been to Ufa. I've talked about this before. That's where my wife is from. It's about 3 hours east of Moscow by plane. Yeah, I would like to go to other places. My wife wants to just go to Bali or Thailand. She wants to go to Bali now. That's her thing. But we have to save our pennies to go there. The problem I've got with going on a holiday now, like to Bali, for instance, is I can't use my credit card to pay for tickets. So I can't pay to book a hotel, for instance, where you would use online booking systems here, even things like Expedia or hotels.com, booking.com. I can't use them here. I can't use travel websites to book flights because almost every booking system around the world that's used, there's a few main ones. Sabre, I don't know some of the others. I know that one, but they've removed Russia as a point of arrival and departure from flight booking systems. So, typically, very, very typically, I'd book hotels or the flights with my credit card, which, a lot of people do. Also has the kind of insurance built into your credit card. And I can't do that right now. So we kind of need to pay for something. My wife's like, oh, we can get a friend to pay for it, but then we've got to pay them back. Whereas we put it on a credit card, we can just pay it off gradually, you know what I mean? So, hello from Melbourne. Vinny, how's it going? I was watching I guess maybe you're Melbourne, you're a footy supporter. I watched the grand final. I watched the cricket the other day, but it was kind of rained out. They were in Canberra. Hi, Russell, watching you with a bunch of... okay. I am okay, yes. I guess you're testing if I'm going to read everything out or not. Yeah, we have the iPhone 14, but not in big stores. Yeah, it's... I can definitely get it online. I can buy it from phone stores, but it's not in some stores here in Moscow. You planning to make a video for foreigners how to move to Russia? What about PayQ? What you have to do? Yeah, there's a lot of people covered that already. Biggest problem is you've got so many different, things you need to go through to do that. So to talk about it and explain it is not as easy, I guess, in English as it is the Russian explanation of things. For my visa, we used an agent in Moscow, which basically collates all the documents for you. And it was easier. I mean, we still have to go and do everything, but they create the package of documents that we give to immigration. And I would recommend that to anybody who wants to do that, actually. So, yeah, evening for Russell from South Africa. Joanne, hello. My Boki, if that's okay. I was just chatting today. I was doing voice chatting, like where you record the voice on WhatsApp to each other. I have a friend who just went on a ship in Turku in Finland, and he's from South Africa. And we were really trying to get on the same ship together, but it's not worked out. But super, super nice guy. I was just chatting to him, like voice messages back and forward, back and forward. Bebel, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. That's very nice of you. Good day, Russell. It's 16 Celsius here in Richmond, California, near San Francisco. Yeah, right now it's 4 Celsius here. Actually, it says 5.1 on my reading, but the computer says 4 Celsius. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it didn't even get to 10 Celsius today. I think when I went out, it was 8 or 9, I think, 8 point something. I kind of had a quick look before I went out the door for this afternoon. So yeah, thank you, Bebel, for the super chat. It's very nice of you, whoever's doing those super stickers. Thank you. And I did notice some people did super thanks on some of the individual videos. If you didn't know that, where you've got the chat or comment option, there's a little $ sign where you can do super thanks on individual videos. So if anybody does one of those, I do try to pin those comments. I might not have done it on all the videos. I'm sorry if you've done that, but I do try to pin them on as the top comment on a video, if that makes sense. The most fan city in Russia. Yeah, I'd say so. Probably that, St. Petersburg, Sochi. Was it a culture shock for you to move to another end of the world? Are you in Russia for good? We've talked about this. My wife and I have talked about this, maybe not on the stream. We do kind of plan to stay here we did when we left Australia last year. We plan to be here for about a year, maybe 2 years. I don't know about the forever part. This is really dependent on everything going on, so to speak. We're both comfortable living here as it is right now. And we're both kind of in happy places in terms of, my wife's work, what I do with YouTube and things like that. So that's kind of worked out at the moment, if that makes sense. Moving to another side of the world. I worked on cruise ships for a lot of years. So traveling to other cities and towns and ports every other day on a cruise ship is not too unfamiliar. I don't mind being anywhere in the world and getting off the ship and going out somewhere. I've been back and forward here for 9 years now. So I guess the first time you come, it's a little bit daunting, going into Moscow center where it is busier and there's a lot more people and population. The amount of people on public transport, where people live in the world, it's still major cities, right? We're not unique here, if you like, but I've been good with it. So is it easy for expats to come to work in Russia? I guess it would help if you knew the language. There is obviously a lot of, most of the English-speaking expats that I know are English teachers. So they do it through schools or mostly schools or teaching schools, I guess. I don't know what they call English teaching schools. So they don't necessarily need to know Russian. They obviously, and a lot of them, actually even Australians that I've met, teach in English to Russian students who know English. I guess you'd need to have like the degrees or at least the trainings or I think it's TEFL or something like that. I always mix it up with the name of the brand. IELTS, there's another one I think where you've got to have those sort of certificates to be able to get the jobs. I'm not sure if it's any harder now because of everything going on. I guess you still would need the visas to come here. And then, most people won't come here without a job. They'd come, with a job in mind. It'd be pretty hard to get off the plane and, expect to go out and find jobs. Would be, just to move to a big city to do that's difficult. So, did Russians go all out for Christmas? I wouldn't say for Christmas, more so for New Year. So the New Year is basically January 7, 6, 7. There's basically like a 10-day New Year non-working day holidays in January. That's kind of more the celebrated thing. There's basically the midnight meal that you have in the kitchen or the lounge room, wherever you're eating. And you watch the midnight address from the president. Gives his good cheer to everybody for the new year. Kind of very standard kind of prime minister, president, a leader kind of speech. Excuse me. Not necessarily for the true Christmas like we know in December. It's not celebrated, but for New Year it is. They've got obviously the Christmas markets in all the major towns and cities. The famous ones in Moscow and St. Petersburg, of course. But yeah, the Moscow looks amazing with the amount of lights they put up and Christmas trees. That's very, very well known. Hello from Murmansk. Yes, nice to see you. Yes, Nelly, also thank you for commenting. Yeah, anybody who's I think it was Constantine that says it, like a serial channel member or serial commenter or subscriber of the channel. Thank you. I'm going to say this a lot because I just find it just blows me away. Now we're almost at 15,000 subscribers. We're almost at 95 likes on the live stream. So that's even amazing too. So I'm in Murmansk as well. Oh, Nelly and Helen. There you go. Oh, lots of Russians here, or people in Russia. Hi, I'm in Krasnoyarsk near Moscow. Thank you for your supermarket video. I'll check it out tomorrow. I've been going to Globus or Metro. I've been here for 4 weeks now. Good to know a new store. Yeah, Dar is the name of the one I went to. Basically, a few weeks earlier, I went to OK supermarket, and then Dar was actually in the same shopping center. This Columbus shopping mall that I went to, it's basically essentially the old part of the shopping center, which was 4 levels, 1 underground, 3 on top. And then there's the new part of the Columbus shopping center, which is just the mega mall style. And that had the OK underneath. And then the Da, which is like Yes, is the other supermarket that I went to, more like Aldi or Lidl, as people pointed out a lot. Yeah, Metro. Globus is the one that's at my shopping center at Salarevo. And then Metro, I don't really go to. We don't have a card for Metro, so I'd have to go there with a friend who has one. And they're not close by where I live. There is one, but it's just awkward to get to. So, Rovan, hello. How's it going? Evening. I mean, Kira. Oh, there we go. So you guys must know not know each other, but you know where everybody lives. Yeah, just do the @ symbol, and then if you type the start of their name, you'll see it pop up, and then it'll actually highlight on each other's chat as you're chatting back and forward. Is YouTube available to the average Russian? Absolutely, it is. Yes, there is no blocking of YouTube. It's completely working. The one perk of living here now, if you're aware of this, that YouTube isn't putting ads on Russian videos. So while I'm watching YouTube here in Russia, there's no ads on any of my videos that I watch. So I'm essentially getting YouTube Premium for free. So which is kind of a good thing. I'm not having to skip ads or click ads, unclickable ones, things like that. But if you're a Russian creator of YouTube and your audience is predominantly Russian, then you're not getting ad revenue from Russian views. So yeah, most of the viewers that I have, of course, there's some Russians that are watching, and it's really nice that people are watching who are local. But the majority of my views are from outside of Russia. So, and then my channel is, let's say, created in Australia, if that makes sense. So, can't wait for open Bigwood snowboarding forever. So I'm here. Oh yeah, I've never done snowboarding. Yeah, I know they've got some of the parks in Moscow where you can do like the ski rentals and stuff like that. I really should try to go this year. I know about them. Was the job interview for a cruise ship? Yes, Paulie, it was. Yeah, to work on. Well, it's another company, not the company I'm currently working for. Technically, you still work for them even though you're not on the cruise ships. It's really because it's a contract basis that you do work on cruise ships under. So while we're all going into winter, Australia is going into summer. Yes, right. Yeah, cricket season. It's the end of the footy season. So transfer your cruising covering skills to trains, or as I call them, landliners. Some pretty interesting train transport in and around that part of the world. Yes. Yeah, I was wanting to put all the videos that I've done on this channel over on the cruise channel because I already had that kind of amount of subscribers, and it was just a matter of following it on. But every time I kind of put some sort of a Russian video on there or like a travel vlog, it just didn't get the views. And that's why I created a separate channel like I've done what you guys are watching. So, yeah, Aussie see the moon upside down. One thing I always have a joke about when I was on the cruise ship. So on the cruise ship, in the liquor store, we sold chocolates and candy and sweets, and we had M&Ms, chocolate M&Ms, peanut M&Ms. But I always joked with the American customers that in Australia they're called WWs because we're land down under, and they didn't, they got the joke, but forever is a long time. Indefinite. Yeah, indefinitely. Yeah. We haven't really kind of put like a time frame on it. My wife needs to enter Australia technically within the next 4 years, I think it is. I did look at it a while back. I don't remember now. To basically nominate that she's back in the country when you pass through immigration, technically. Hello from Rome. Oh, buonasera, Saverio. Hello. Buonasera. Yes. Or what's the good night one? Buonanotte is good night, isn't it? Not good evening. Are teachers well paid in Russia, regular teachers and or English teachers? I don't think they are in terms of what you'd get paid as a teacher in a, let's say, in America, Australia, Canada, England school. I didn't really ask specifically these Aussie guys. I should have asked them about, how they feel about their wages. Look, it's enough to live on. It's enough to pay rent, food, live. The average of most bills here are very low. So based on what you earn, you know what I mean? It's it's okay to live, if that makes sense. It's very hard to kind of, money and salaries is like one of the, always when I worked on cruise ships, always like the taboo subject, if you like. So, yeah, I would imagine people that are in private schools maybe get better paid, particularly where they're native English speaking, where they're not Russians who teach English. They're like, say, Australians or British people. I have one friend from Scotland that's doing it. Do you drive a car in Moscow? I did literally yesterday for about half an hour. I rent cars on car sharing apps. I literally drove down to the shopping center, the 10-minute walk, 15-minute walk. There was a car, there's an app on my phone that tells you where the car sharing cars are parked. And then basically you accept the rental of it. It's 10 rubles per minute to rent the car. And then if you park it up, it's like 5 rubles per minute to park it. And it cost $6 between driving there, parking up, and driving back. It cost me $6 when I was probably 45 minutes an hour between going there and back, because I had to pick up some food that we ordered for dinner last night. So yeah, I pretty much only drive if I do the car rentals or car sharing. Sorry. Russell, I'm curious if you had to pick one place to visit in Russia that you haven't been to, for what would it be? And I know sometimes it would differ with the family. Does your wife have such a place? Yeah, my wife would probably want to go back to Ufa, where she's from. Maybe to Sochi or to Crimea. She likes the ocean. She likes the sea. She likes rivers. So to go to ocean, they're seas here, right? Not oceans, but I really would love to do the Trans-Siberian Railway and go right the way over to Vladivostok, and do that. That is one of the things I'd like to do, really, really, really. And I know it's so incredibly easy to. Well, I say it's easy to do, but the fact that I'm in the country, it's easy to do. That would be my thing, and you can do it relatively cheaply by just taking the normal train passages. You don't have to do the entire trip back to back to back. You can do a couple of days of it, then stay somewhere for a day, get on the next scheduled train, and continue on the journey. So that would be one thing I really like to do. Good evening. Good luck on your stream. I'm from RF Moscow. Thanks for your videos about a Prelivka. Yes. Well, I've not done really. Oh, the one today will be. Well, tonight will be, because I went to Melodia Shopping Center. Our shopping center is called Melodia because the town here, I would imagine 20 years ago it closed, but this was the hub of record production, vinyl records. This was basically the town in Russia that made all the vinyl records for Russia, and I would imagine for Europe as well, for export. So the shopping center is called Melodia, and then it's got like the music symbols on the side of the building, in reference to the fact that the town has a history of producing vinyl records. Those factories have been repurposed now, and they make the ice hockey jerseys for, I don't know if it's for the Russian team or it's a kind of very well-known brand of ice hockey jerseys that they produce at the factories here. So, do you know about the Australian family which lives in Russia and try to create farm in Altai? I do know their videos. I have watched a few of their videos. I did try to contact them. I've talked about this before on streams. They didn't get back to me. I've tried to chat to 3 of the family members. They live in Novosibirsk. Even I chatted to them I sent messages, but didn't get replies. So I've kind of given up on them. The fact they're also from Perth, which is my city in Australia. Do you know about something about passage for goods in North Sea? I guess Russia developing it, and US apparently don't like it. Don't know about that. I didn't see any news at all. So passage of goods in the North Sea. Yeah, I don't know. Most of the stuff here will come through the Russian CIS countries, or through Middle East, or through China. So there's a lot of places all the goods can come into Russia through. The Chinese might take it back again soon. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm curious though what the influence is there when you're there. Like, is it just Chinese goods everywhere? Is all the food brought from China versus across Russia to Vladivostok? Yeah, a lot of Russians are here. Yes. Visit Khabarovsk, beautiful city on the Amur. Yeah, this is where Natasha's Adventures is from. I think she's from Khabarovsk, right? It's very interesting. If anyone watched her last video, I don't think she's left Russia. I think she's didn't leave, and she's still in Russia. Because that last video, which is a bit of a kind of it's meant to be a funny, quirky thing about, her going to a protest. And it really looks like she's in her apartment, and the door that she opened and the door lock and the eye hole and the background of it looks like she's not outside of Russia. But I don't know. But how is Gleb? Gleb is good. Gleb is in Belgrade, Serbia right now. He literally flew there last night. Maybe the night before. Last night or the night before he flew there. My wife actually saw his wife downstairs in our elevator corridor downstairs. I didn't really ask. I just asked if my wife chatted to her. I don't know for how long, but Gleb is good. I mean, he's a little bit stressed, of course. He was a little bit stressed by the flight flying from. He was in Turkey. He flew from Istanbul to Belgrade. So he was a bit stressed by the flight. He was a bit stressed by getting off the plane and entering. So yeah, he's with a friend. He's with another person, a work colleague. He are both together. Yeah, I chatted to him literally. Did I chat to him before he got on the plane? I think before he got on the plane. I know it was yesterday I did. So can you explain about raising money instead of asking the government where the taxes have gone? I don't really know the answer to that. Sorry. Have a nice day. Thank you. Wow, is that a Thai name? Your last name there or first name? Greetings. In your opinion, do you feel safe as a foreigner? Got an advisor for the first time. Got any advice for a first-time visitor student in Moscow? I feel completely safe here. I don't go out much at night, sort of thing. I don't live where we live in the small town here. It's not really got any nightlife after the shops close. We don't have any bars here. We've only got one restaurant. I mean, I could happily walk there and back now. It's now 10:20 p.m. But if I'm out in Moscow at night, it's normally just because it gets dark early here. I happily walk around. The amount of population around Moscow when you're walking in the center is a lot of people. There's a lot of cameras, a lot of CCTV. Everything is kind of detailed and documented, sort of thing. Big Brother's watching. I feel safe here. So I guess it's just maybe intimidating for people coming the first time here. I mean, where I did the live stream, I don't know how clear it is. I watched a little bit of it, but there isn't security everywhere. Obviously, if you're walking around Red Square and that area, there is the usual police and security and patrols. because of the buildings and the nature of the buildings, and the banks and the State Duma and things like that, the mayor's building. So it can be intimidating when you see the police dressed up in all their gear. Pretty much in every metro station, bus station, there's some kind of police presence. I wouldn't say that's normal where you live, but in Australia we would have train guards, or they say they're equivalent to police in Australia, like the guards at the train stations. You definitely, especially going closer to Moscow, you do see more police. We have one police station in our town here that I walked to them from today to go into town. You do see them out and about and driving on patrols around. I don't imagine a lot happens in this town, but they're here. Yeah, I guess that can be a little bit confronting getting on the metro. The amount of people is what maybe is difficult to understand going through the metro and the train system. And you see them there checking people. They just randomly stop people and ask them for IDs and stuff like that. That can be a little bit initially, confronting, I guess. Coming from Australia, where you know there's police, but you don't notice them, sort of thing. There's firemen, but you don't notice them. Yeah, it's I don't know about advice for first-timers students. Yeah, I guess it's a matter of just fitting in as well. Not being too outlandish and wearing the I love Australia t-shirt and things like that. Coming into winter now, you're going to be wearing jackets and gloves and hats and scarves, so you're going to be covered up where you practically can't see anyway where you're walking, because you've got so much covering on. Like, I'll wear my scarf right around my head. Yeah, I guess maybe knowing a few words in Russian. Obviously, carry your passport or carry your visa documents or whatever student documents you need to carry in case you do get stopped or checked. That's about all I can say, really. Yeah, that's my first name and my Thai name. Oh, there we go. Wow. Akachai. Nice. Kapunka. Kapunkai. We actually went to a Thai place for dinner. One day during the week, I met my wife at the shopping center, not here, the one, Solaris. And they've got a Thai place. And I had Tom Kai Gai, the soup, like the soup, coconut soup. And I'm sure that the staff there were from Thailand, because they looked absolutely like Thai people working in the kitchen. And I'm like, oh, kapunkai, kapunkai. And the girl at the register going the bill, she's speaking back in Russian to me. But I'm sure the staff understood what I said, like, hello, so. Yeah, what about the roads in Russia? What condition are they in, and are they well kept between the cities? Yes, the highways, motorways, freeways, very, very nice between cities. Yeah, I mean, obviously in the smaller towns and the back roads, they can be a little bit hit and miss. In the town we are here, they're all very well paved and bitumenized. They've actually recently done one road right where I live here. I don't know why they chose this one, but they did. They fixed it all up. Yeah, the main highways between, even in around Moscow and the ring roads and things like that, they're always working on something, though. I mean, there's always that kind of delay because they're working on something or rebuilding something. In the smaller towns and smaller villages, they're not necessarily having good quality roads, but the main roads between cities, I think they're good, but that's my opinion, of course. Yeah, the Moscow Metro is like a museum. What were your impressions when you took it the first time? Yeah, literally the first time I visited, my wife was working a lot. She worked at a different place, so I had to go out on my own a lot. And I was almost scared to catch the metro because I was worried I was catching the wrong one. I didn't know which line to change to. Now it's like second nature, going in, going out and changing lines. Yeah, it's too busy sometimes to kind of look at the station, like you're talking about being a museum. And you kind of walk through them, especially where you change between lines. And then there's the passageways to go between the lines. You don't notice the beauty of some of the stations. It's really a matter of going on like a Sunday or a public holiday and walking a bit slower and kind of looking up. Like if I'm with my wife, she won't stop and look at anything, but she'll just got to go here, got to go there, got to go here. Yeah, but some of the stations really, really amazing. Like just the amount of tiling and the amount of, the tiles that they put on the walls and the floors and the slates and things like that is just like crazy. The modern ones, obviously they look, each metro station that's new and modern in the last sort of 5 or 10 years looks a little bit weird, I guess, but that's modern advancements in what they're doing. But they try to follow a theme when they make them, there's obviously always going to be an opinion about the modern stations versus the old ones that they don't remodel them. They just basically, they'll fix them, tidy them up. They'll repoint them. They'll retrowel them all and things like that. So, is the face pay system any good? And is it only work in subways and train stations? Yeah, I know it's definitely in all the metros because you can see it as you go through. I also believe that when you tap your card, it takes a photo of you, and the whole facial recognition system in Moscow is all fixed together to one system. Yeah, I've never actually used it because you've got to basically just have an app on your phone that you link your payment, like your credit card or debit card to, and then you come up to it. It recognizes your eye. That's recognizing on the app. I've never actually used it. I just basically have the Troika card, which is basically the prepaid card that you load money onto, and then just tap it and open the gate and go through. I've not seen it at the train stations. I know for the sure it's in the metro or the subways. Originally it was like 1 or 2 gates, because when you come to an entrance of a metro, normally it's about 10, 12, 15 gates wide that you're passing through to go into the metro. And I know it was originally like 1 or 2 gates. I see now they've just modernized a lot of the tap and go to a new digital kind of screen when you tap your card. So I don't know if they've basically upgraded all of the camera systems as you go through the gates to go in. So, I'm sure it works well for people that have that. I know my friend has the ring on her finger. That's her payment. So she puts her ring on the screen. I guess I use my right hand when I tap the card. So I see it when I go out with them. They use their rings to pay for their transport, and it's basically connected back. So, 132 likes, by the way. Thank you very much. Also, thanks to the people that did super chats or super thanks. It's very nice of you. Again, it goes back into the channel. Of course, it helps myself and my wife living here. Helps basically me not having to go out and work if work's a job, you know what I mean, like a physical job. Doing YouTube, pays to be here. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. How you interpret that, that's up to you. Which kind of Russian food do you like? Like borscht. I know that's Ukrainian essentially, but borscht soup. I had tonight some beetroot salad. That was very nice. My wife made beetroot salad. Pilmeni. I know it's very, very common here, but we do buy it. My wife doesn't make it. Actually, she's got a pan right here, and she's making basically like a beef and vegetable soup here for tomorrow. So yeah, any kind of soups. We don't make lots of Russian food at home. Plov, my wife makes plov, which is kind of like a rice, kind of meat, kind of veggie kind of thing. Which don't you like? My wife eats a lot of fish. I don't like the way they eat fish, like whole fish with all the bones in. When we go to a friend's house, that's very normal. There's always a plate of fish, chicken, meat, pork, actually everything. I'm not into that. Even the raw fish, like the fish that you'd eat when you drink beer. I'm not big on that either. Vladivostok was founded in Russia in 1860. The Chinese cannot take it back. So the Chinese can't take it back. There you go. What do you think about Gostalugi app? Did you use it? Yes, I have Gostalugi. It's okay. It's not a great. It's a problem when you're really wanting to do things on it. It's great until you need to do things with it. Costa Lugi. I do have it. I've got Snil set up. Basically having to book appointments when I was going through my visa process. You had to use that. I see the one on the computer here where I log in is easier than on the app on my phone. Partly because it translates everything to English on the computer. So basically to book appointments and things like that. But yeah, I've definitely got it. I know it's funny to say that it's easier to. It works great until you need to use Costa Lugi. Even when you go to some of the offices, they're not as overly helpful as they could be. But about how the system was introduced and it's not being used to. Has been introduced and it's now being used to locate the call-ups. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think I just read a story about that right before I went live. That actually it was a Sun newspaper article, a kind of British newspaper, that they were pulling people at the metro stations and the bus stations, train stations here. I think that's probably the people, maybe not so much specific people. I know when you go through the metro stations here, you see people getting asked, particularly if they've got documents or they've got their passport on them to verify their identity, and whether or not those people just happen to get flagged when they put their information in the system. Yeah, that whole thing with the facial detection going through the train in the metro station, I don't know if that's linked to that. I don't believe that, but yeah, how that system was introduced and it's now being used to locate the so-called call-ups. Yeah, I don't think they're using it for that. I think it's too difficult, especially if a lot of people don't really have all of the. I know the Troika card that I use is not linked to me, although I can register it. A lot of people basically don't have that kind of thing linked. If that makes sense. Okay, here's a quick quirky question. How is the garbage system for where you live? Do they have the garbage bins and the trucks? Yeah, this is kind of interesting. They come by and pick up the garbage cans automatically. Do you recycle? Yes. So we don't really recycle. We do put the plastic water bottles, like the one behind here, pretty much just the empty, like cool drink bottles. That's an empty one right there. There is one separate container downstairs. There's basically, for the apartment buildings, we've got like a little shed or little garage roof where they've got the bulk bins where you put the rubbish in. I know that they come by, I guess it's a couple of times per week, and pick that up. Outside in our corridor here, we're on the 10th level. There is a garbage chute where you drop things in. It kind of opens up and it falls down to the bottom. And I do see the guy that looks after our building pulling them out a couple of times a week and put them on the street for pickup. How much they recycle, I don't know. I know they've got recycling programs in place. They do talk about it in a lot of the mayor's kind of website stuff. How much of the garbage that goes into that general bin, it's just at the end of our building. I don't know. I know it's part of paying for the services of our building, like the communal fees of the building, the garbage, the heating, and I guess maintenance of the building. I don't know what they do for maintenance, but yeah, I know they do talk about recycling, but I don't know if it really happens proactively. Like when that the bin man truck comes by, where he goes, what he drops off, how they might separate it. I don't know that answer, but I assume they do. Hope that answers that question, kind of. Yes, Samtam is Yumbro, your Thai language is good. Thank you. Yeah, well, it's not that good, but yeah, we pickle beetroot. Yes, I like. Yeah, this beetroot salad my wife does. It's kind of like with mayonnaise and things like that, but you can buy it pre-made in a lot of the supermarkets as well. Like a little container at Globus, they've got the, prepared food, the deli counters. Pierogies, caramelized onions and sour cream. Yeah, with the pilmene we do with sour cream. Put sour cream in a lot of soups as well. Smetana, sour cream. I don't like Russian food. I prefer to eat slowly. Sorry, lame joke. Don't like Russian. Yeah, I got it. No worries. Why are a few voting? Why are a few people voting for furniture stores? We've seen quite a few supermarkets. I guess it's time for some furniture. Yes, someone did mention in a comment. I'm not sure who. It was definitely in a Russian comment because I translated it, and they told me there's a huge furniture market quite close to me, about half an hour by car away, called Three Whales. Three Whales. It translates to three kitas. Kita. Three kita. Which is essentially a 3 or 4 level furniture store, like multi-brand furniture store, not just one company. It's like all the companies come in there and then they all trade in the same levels or floors. So yeah, 14%. So yeah, electronic store and supermarkets is kind of close though. I think a lot of people want to keep seeing supermarkets. I'm really shocked how much that last video did, like 90,000 views now. I'm really, really happy that it did. Well, I'm happy, of course, any video that gets a lot of views, but yeah, especially the first couple of hours when I put that live a few days back. Anytime I can get more views than subscribers, I think that's success. Mashed potatoes. Yeah, katochkas. Yeah, actually, anytime we go somewhere or even at home, boiled potatoes, or actually my wife does it in the oven, baked potatoes when we do chicken and meats and stuff like that, mushrooms. She does put onions or caramelized onions on a lot of things. Now you talk about this. Yeah, I recycle garbage, but we don't have special bins for recycling. Yeah, I divide it, gather, and bring to a special place. Oh, okay. You bring yours to somewhere different. Yeah, I know they've got recycling centers set up here. I don't know if there's one immediately in the town where we live. I think it might be in Narofominsk, which is the next kind of main town. Yeah, I know we just separate the plastic containers like the water bottles and stuff because they've got like this kind of, it's a bin that's just like a metal wire bin. You know, I guess someone else may come and pick that up. I don't know. In the UK, we have a few bins per house. Yeah, there's no, because we're all in apartments here. Basically, it's communal garbage collection. So, yeah, what doesn't fit down our garbage chute, we walk to the end of the building, and then there's a drop off for us for our garbage there. So, in the UK, we have got a few bins per household. Yeah, in Australia too. I think we had 3. Actually, we were living in an apartment there, so they just had 2 bins, like general waste and then recycling. And then we had a recycling program where if we go to the recycle centers with cans and bottles, you get 10 cents per can or bottle. I actually made a YouTube video on my cruise channel about that, about recycling cans to make money. And it's a big deal now. They like all the schools and clubs and things are fundraising through doing that. So, did you try Medova type of beer from honey? We went to Zuzdal and Vladimir, we did have this honey beer, and it was like there was also an alcohol version as well, and I really didn't like it. So Meduva, I don't know how they pronounce it correctly, but no, I didn't like it. So food waste, general waste. Can you chat with people in Russian? No. In terms of conversation, no. I can say hello, goodbye, and that's about it. And then, like yesterday, when I was picking up the food, I knew to pick up the food and to pay and how to pay. Like katochka, svaina is pork, kurichka is chicken. So Big Brother is watching from everywhere. They take anyone and admit. They never say that they brought men. Yeah, they never say that they brought men back by mistakes. Yeah, I've noticed that in local media here on the local news, like through Yandex, that they've got some situations now where some of them are being returned or they're refusing to take people, or not necessarily wrongly enlisted, but yeah, people are basically getting turned away, if that makes sense. She get thoroughly sloshed for science. I don't know how that video will turn out. I probably speak better Russian though. Everyone you know who has Yandex or Google. Yeah, I use Yandex here a lot more for news, for weather. The Yandex weather for the maps, I use it. Google I use here just to Google mostly English related questions, like when I'm doing something for answering questions for the comments in the videos. But predominantly I use Yandex for everything here. Yandex dominates everything. It's kind of the web browser, if anyone doesn't know. They've also got online shopping. There's Yandex anything. It's kind of like for the British, they've got with Virgin, with Richard Branson. Like football kits, yes, yeah. Yes, whale in Russian is kit, or I thought it was kita, or kitai, but Kitai is China. So Russell film a local museum in Aprelivka. I don't think we have a local museum here. I know we've got a cultural center or House of Culture, which is kind of like I don't know what it's called, like a little theater center, theater arts kind of place. But we don't have a museum here that I absolutely, which is a bit weird, right? Considering the history of music here and vinyl records. I went to Aldi today and they had full ski suits in the mystery aisle. Yes. That's why I kind of compared Da with Aldi, because of that mystery aisle in the middle there, the baskets with all the odds and ends. But a lot of people have mentioned it looks more like Lidl because of the bakery at the beginning there, and then the fruit and veg and things like that. In Australia, they've always got like not car parts, but car repair stuff, tools, trolley jacks, chopping boards, tires. In Denmark, we can buy pickled beetroot in small pieces mixed with mayonnaise. Here it is called Russian salat. Yeah, it's called Russian salat. In the 1920s, it was called crushed elevator boy. That's interesting. Thank you, Kristen. Yeah, I'm kind of getting into this beetroot salad. It's very, very nice. So, how long will you be there in Russia? Yeah, so my visa is 3 years and it's renewable for another 3 years. So I can at least be here the entirety of this visa. My wife's residency for Australia is good for life. We've already got that in place. Essentially, she needs to enter at least once every 5 years if she's going to stay outside of Australia. There's a lot of Australian citizens who don't live in Australia. The government know that, and a lot of people go through the visa process and then don't live in Australia, which kind of, as living in Australia, you'd think that's a bit strange, but a lot of people want to be Australians and Australian citizens, Australian passport holders, but not live in Australia. So, yeah, look, I'm happy as long as YouTube does okay. And, things like the ads revenue comes through the videos and videos get views. As the channel grows more with subscribers, naturally more videos will get watched. So if I can make a go of doing YouTube, in terms of what I can earn from it, then I'm okay to stay here. And my wife and I, we've talked about that more than once, probably 100 times in the last month, going back as far as February. So the essentials. We drank Ulniak entirely out of beer. You'll do better than you think. Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to give it another try, I guess. My neighbor, Gleb, someone asked about Gleb. He's right into craft beers. And, we went to a local beer shop here and he bought some craft beers to bring home. And it would have been nice to kind of know some of the others that he drank. It's mead, honey-based alcoholic drink, about 12% here in the UK. Yeah, I know the one that we had when we were in Zuzdal was wasn't necessarily a beer. It was more like an alcohol than a beer, but you buy it in plastic bottles. That looks like beer. It's kind of that yellowy kind of beer look. I wish I had the money. Move to Russia because no longer want to be. Yeah, Interesting. Very interesting channel name too. I guess Fumk. Okay, fair enough. Okay, I'm going to go Russell L. Thank you. Goodbye. Have a good evening. Yes, thank you, L. Thanks for watching. If you've left, I'm not too far behind the chat. I guess maybe putting the slow mode on slowed down people's comments. So maybe that's good or bad. I don't know. It would be interesting to see how you show prices in electronic stores, for example, DNS, as I know prices for PC components in Russia are very affordable at the moment. Yeah, I didn't go to DNS. I went to Eldorado. We do have a small, tiny DNS in the same shopping center, which is really tiny. Maybe I can go see if it's okay to film in there. Actually, I was in there just wandering through when my wife went to another shop the other day. There was a ton of people in there, and the guy jumped all over me, asking me questions. Am I okay? Do I want to look at something? I'm like, I'm just looking. You can go and ask somebody else who's just looking as well, But yeah, the Eldorado, I kind of pointed out the price of some phones, TVs, fridges, kettles, microwaves, washing machines. So yeah, I'm just going to basically just convert them to what they are in US dollars, as what you'd pay here in rubles, right? So computer parts is a little bit difficult. I guess in Eldorado, in DNS, as you pointed out, they do have College Boy, by the way. They do have the computer parts there or components. I don't know about very affordable at the moment. A lot have to be imported. So it really is reliant on which country they were bringing them in from originally, versus maybe now they've had to change the market because of sanctions and they're having to bring them in through parallel imports, so through another country, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's the thing or not, but I don't really buy computer parts, so I know if I look at the price of microphones and the components that I use for streaming, they're considerably higher. I would reckon probably nearly $200 difference I paid for my microphones versus buying them here locally. The Rode products are Australian made, so they've still got to come from Australia somehow to Russia. So whether or not they would come directly or indirectly through Kazakhstan, through Armenia, Georgia, whatever Middle East country, Dubai, Qatar. So almost every town has a museum. Maybe you will show us the palace, the culture palace, the palace of culture. It's called culture palace of culture. It's not a beautiful little area there. It's very quaint, very typical Russian suburban, regional area when you walk around there. Yeah, I guess I could go down there. I don't know if it's open all the time or not. I'm not really, really sure. I tried Chernogolovka, yes. Here and here is Chernogolovka Mandarin, which is my new current drink, which I drink a lot. Well, in terms of the fact that I don't drink Coke anymore because it's very hard to get. But yeah, the Baikal I like, which is the pine cone flavor, I guess. I don't like the Chernogolovka Cola, but the Mandarin one I like. Yes, definitely know Chernogolovka very well. Thanks. Did their microwave situation get resolved or bought? No. Well, actually, I talk about it in the video today again. No, for now, not. Guess you'll be able to see the price of the microwaves in the video. So it's still on the list. My wife tends to basically shop and buy things more than I buy things. So she'd be more than happy to end up going out and buying something and then just saying she's bought it than me, suggesting that we buy something, So yeah, electronics are mostly sold online in Russia. Correct. Yes. It's a huge percentage that people buy and have delivered than people going to physical stores like Gabushka. There's the one in Moscow, the big multi-level electronics store. Yeah, if anyone wants to look up like that, there's one of the videos in the channel is like Russian electronics market or computer market. I forgot what I named the title of it, but it's called Gabushka, and it's like a 5 or 6 level electronics market. So what is the latest regarding the microwave? It's still pending. Sorry, I know it's becoming a bit of a running joke now. Almost, I've mentioned it in the last few videos. Definitely, I mentioned it today in the video, and the guest I was with, which you'll see come up in the video, talks briefly about it. So, thank you, Nash, for the super sticker. Keep it up. Thank you. Yes, I don't do weights, but my wife has enrolled at the gym downstairs though, and she's doing gym now a couple of days a week. She was going to go tonight. She's going to go tomorrow now. So she's really enjoying it. And there's a teacher there or a fitness instructor that helps people that go into the gym down there. It's basically in the lower ground level of our building here. So film a walk around of Gorky Park. Yeah, I could do a live stream there. I did do one before. I don't seem to have a lot of luck with live streams with the quality of the stream. But yeah, I could kind of definitely go there. I've been there a few times recently, so brew my own beer. It's based on non-alcoholic apple cider and honey, then fermented, and store it for at least 3 years. Wow. Yeah, Kim, yeah, Kim, I'll definitely look into going to Gorky Park. Especially before it, well, I guess it's probably more nicer once it snows there. It's actually really nice to walk around when it's cold and snowy, versus maybe now in autumn with all the leaves falling. It's very concretey, Gorky Park. It's not beautiful like you think in your mind it is. It's got a lot of concrete. It's, it is nice. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's very beautiful. It's very historic, but it doesn't look as beautiful on camera as when you're there. So again, Nash, thank you for the €5. Oh, euros as well. Thank you. The different symbols there. Fanta's disappeared here too, but we still have Coke coming up Coke coming up in our yin yang. Yeah, so actually today we went and had a shawarma, my friend and I, which is basically the doner kebab. And the guy had Coca-Cola in the fridge there, which is actually from Kazakhstan. It's got a gold lid now, not a red lid. And then the Fanta has a white lid, which is the non-Russian. It's still Coke and Fanta from Coke and Fanta, but it's imported from Kazakhstan. Yeah, the Coke you can still buy in the Rinak, like in the food markets. But I imagine that's all the stock. In pretty much every supermarket now, you can't get it, the major ones. I can just go to a smaller place to find it if I want it here. So it's still available. So how many percent what percent do I know of Russian? I'll be honest. I would say 2 or 3%, maybe 4%. I like to shop the old way. Yes. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like that as well. And I talked about with my friend today that, about going to bricks and mortar stores versus, shopping online for things. And I talked to my friend about it today that, that there was one lady working there today. And it's like she spends her whole day, helping people, talking about brands and products. And people just take a little screenshot of the label and they order online and get it delivered. So, there is, I know some of the DNS stores, these electronic stores, are getting much smaller. And then they've got the tapping order screens in the store where you can order other products that are not in their selection. And they can get it within a few days to the store or have it delivered to your house. How'd I get to know Russia? If anything, I don't quite understand English. Yeah, my wife is Russian. I met her on holiday when we were both on separate holidays 10 years ago now. 10 years ago. And basically I've lived on and off here ever since. I went back and forward to work quite a few years. So yeah, just learning, looking, listening, talking. I mean, my wife gets mad at me looking around at everything and reading everything, reading every sign and label. My friend Bruce, an Aussie, has been taken leaving his flat. Mobilization. He's in shock, told go or you will be. My friend Bruce, an Aussie, has been taken leaving his flat. That's crazy if that's true, really. Oh, yeah, I can film inside the Palace of Culture. Maybe there's a picture gallery or something like that. Yeah, I will have to go down there. My wife sometimes orders things by mistake to the Wildberries nearby that Palace of Culture. It's not on our walk to and from town. It's kind of off the few roads away, sort of thing. They have different entrances, but they're in the same place. Sadly, days of... They have different entrances, but they're the same place. I'm not sure what you're saying in the first couple of words there. Sorry. 4% with a vodka chaser. Yeah, it's probably 10% after a few beers. When you work on the cruise ships and you go to Mexico a lot, to Cozumel, Progreso, Cancun, obviously is the main town there. But after a few Coronas, you start speaking Spanish, you know. Does Russia have like nocturnal parks, like protected areas of natural beauty or importance? I would imagine they have a lot of, especially outside of the cities. Moscow, I think, has the most parks per capita of anywhere in the world. I think Moscow has got that notoriety, the amount of open spaces or public open spaces of anywhere in the world. I'm pretty sure that's still true. I know it's true in terms of just the sheer size of the parks in the city as well, you know. Yeah, on the market. Yeah, Coke and Fanta from Kazakhstan. Yeah, pretty much in any of the shawarma places, any of the Rinuks, any of the kind of mum and pop kind of corner stores has it, the Coke and Fanta. It all comes through Food City, which is the main food distributor in Moscow. You know, I know when I went there with Ben, the New Zealand guy that was in one of the videos, he was just in shock at how many pallets of Coke that we saw, you know, and I was too. Good stream from a Prelivka. Oh, good stream from a Prelivka. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, it's kind of weird that I mention it a lot that I'm here. I mean, and then some people, not only my wife, but other people say, you know, don't tell people where you are. Don't tell people what you're doing, where you live. Kind of gives away where you are. But I don't know. I mean, I say it. And you can get things delivered. Yeah, the IKEA home. Yeah, we had them in Moscow until they all closed. In quite a few of the shopping centers, the IKEA homes. Actually, Hof has Hof Home as well, which are kind of more smaller versions. Yeah, I like the IKEA home. I was, before February, in the Moscow center, where they've got all the skyscrapers in New Moscow City. They've got Afia Mall there, huge 4 or 5 level shopping mall there in the middle of all the skyscrapers, and it had a IKEA city in there, and it was going to be, I visited the world's smallest IKEA video. That was going to be my video for YouTube, and I never went back and filmed it. I'm so mad now I didn't do it. You know, these like say 100 square meter stores, yeah, with all the kind of best sellers, mostly all the kitchen stuff and the bedding and things like that. Yeah, I shopped at the world's smallest IKEA. Someone wants to make that video on YouTube? Go ahead. Just go to one of those small IKEAs. It's talking about Gabushka Tech Market. Yes. Oh, okay. Sorry, Nashman. Yes. What was the rest of the comment there? They have different entrances, but they're in the same place. Sadly, days of glory have gone. Yeah, that Gabushka. Yeah, it's amazing walking around there. I wish I did film a video there. It is on the channel somewhere. If you can just, I don't know, Russian electronics market or electronics store. If you search that inside the channel, Russia is also only developing and thriving. Yeah, that's interesting. I kind of feel that a bit more from people's comments after the last supermarket one. There was a lot more positive comments in that video than on a lot of other videos. A lot of negative comments and bad comments and almost comments that need deleting. So, yeah, Gabushka. So if anyone doesn't know what the Gabushka market is, back in the 90s, I think, or even 80s, it was almost like a black market, trading market where people were selling mostly music, so cassettes, records, and I would imagine there was some clothes like Levi jeans and stuff like that, and but it had a lot of like black market things that weren't available in Russia at this market called Gabushka. And there's photos of it from back in the day where it was just, huge, basically parking lots of traders selling things. I guess legally not legal, not legal. I don't know what to say, but now it's in it's in an old television factory, the actual place. It's over multiple levels. It's all little tiny vendors, little shops when you go in, mostly phone sellers, and obviously a lot of computer components resellers. Yeah, very interesting place to walk around. Glasgow has a lot of parks. Oh, there we go. I'm certain Russia or Moscow has the most, I guess, maybe green spaces or public open spaces of anywhere in the world, like any city in the world. Oh, hello from Dakar. Oh, I like the Dakar rally. Crazy. Excuse me. Now I'm going to take a drink. Oh, excuse me. My microphone's probably working really good now and you can hear me drinking. So yeah, I guess the poll, 225 votes. Oh, sorry. Oh, very sorry for that. Yeah, so half wanted to see, well, that's pretty close, 45 and 40, supermarkets and electronic stores. And 13% of, well, if you call it 100 a piece, 20 people wanted a furniture store video, so maybe not everybody here. So, yeah, just when I do eventually, I'm not far from ending the live stream here, by the way. I hope everyone's enjoyed so far, chatting and answering back and forward questions. If you do want to maybe put a like or a comment on the video after it's ended, of course, in the chat's always good, but you're welcome to put a comment after watching the video and I'll happily reply to it. Or if you want to watch another video back, you can do. Gabushka's been selling parallel imports since the 80s. Yes, an iconic place. Yeah, parallel importing, right. Yeah, it's a very neat place to go to. Even if you're not into electronics, you just want to walk. I mean, for guys like me, I can walk around that multiple times. I could go there once a week and walk around because it's there was one little market where I was at the Hof, and they've got a kind of a small mini Gabushka in the lower level of, was it in the Hof building where the Hof was, across the road from Columbus Shopping Center? But they had all the parts for electric toothbrushes, electric shavers, all of the spare parts, like literally, like that was the one little booth that just dealt with kind of the bathroom implements, I guess, because I want to get the foil for my electric shaver. And because I think they're made in Germany, the price has gone up now of the stock that's inside Russia still. So now I'm looking on the Avito, like the secondhand market, to buy a whole shaver less than the price of the replaceable foil. Obviously, it'd be someone's secondhand one, but crawl around the toilet. Do I miss rats and spiders? But not about rats, but spiders and snakes. Yeah, spiders. Yeah, I guess that's one thing you don't get when you're on the 10th level of an apartment building. Yeah, spiders crawling out of your toilets. Yeah, my uncle in Australia, which I wish I made a video on him, he still has an outside bathroom or outside toilet in his suburban house in Perth, Australia. His house is from the 70s. I would imagine his house that he bought, that he moved into, has still got an outside toilet. He's not put a toilet in his bathroom in his main house. So you still got to walk down the garden back path, take a torch with you at night to go to the toilet. Yeah, that's where you got to look out for spiders, underneath that toilet seat. Oh. I don't know what it... Something there. G'day from Sydney. Beautiful morning here. Moscow looks like a very clean city. Yes. Yeah, you've got a big time difference. Yeah, it's now just turned 11 p.m. here. 4 Celsius outside. It hasn't changed. Actually, this is the temperature inside, by the way, because we've got double glazed windows here and then central heating on. It's always nice and warm in the kitchen. We almost have to open the window to let it cool down a little bit. Can I share videos with you from my dash cam during cycling so you can show traffic from biking points? Help you start riding. You should put them on a YouTube channel. That's what you should do. So you can show traffic from biking points of view and help you start riding. Yeah, I mean, the drivers in Moscow it's hectic. It's crazy. I mean, you can say that about anywhere in the world, but I don't know if half of the population doesn't have a full legitimate driver's license. I don't know what the number is or how they obtained a driver's license. I don't know, but you should put them on a YouTube channel. Just upload them to your own Google. Open your YouTube app on your phone, and there'll be like add video. You're off. That could be an entire channel. What's the most popular car brand people drive there? It's obvious. It's a big mix of cars. I've noticed a lot more Chinese cars in the last few years. I wouldn't say the last 6 months, because it's very hard to kind of say that, that things have changed in literally months. Obviously, there's a lot of Ladas here. A lot of the car companies like Nissan, Toyota, Mercedes, Lada, Ford as well. They all have factories here in Russia. So a lot of people drive what would consider Western cars, but they were manufactured in Russia. Just talking about Mercedes, I know that a good majority of what they were producing in Russia were exported back to Europe because the market isn't as big as what they're producing from the factories here. So, you'll see, a good mix of brands of cars here. If you go into the center of Moscow, you do see a lot more luxury cars, Mercedes, BMWs, Audis, more what I would consider luxury cars, in my opinion. In the suburbs, you see a lot more normal family cars. I did see a big, Ram. Is it Ram? Is it F-150 200? I don't think that's Ram. There was a big American truck at the shopping center today, completely out of place here in Aprelivka. But there is some imported American cars here. Not many of them, but when they are here, they're like the big ones that people typically drive in Texas, love dumplings and cabbage soup. If anything, I'm 75% Russian, 20%, and I live in Belarus, Republic of Bashkortostan. Yeah, my wife's from Ufa, so yeah, I always say that I'm 95%. As a joke, I always say that I'm 95% Russian now. The fact that I have residency here, I've lived here for so many years on and off. I guess me not speaking Russian is probably letting me down with the last 5%. I don't know any of these names. Sasha, or I don't know any of these names or who they are. Sorry. Here's a fact. In 1987 or 88, Pink Floyd did a concert in Moscow. They got paid in timber. That's crazy. Pink Floyd got paid in timber. I don't know that story. That's kind of crazy, though. If that's that happened. People like Japanese or Chinese cars. Yeah, there is a lot of Chinese. I do notice a lot of Chinese cars here. Actually, we saw one today. I'm going to look at what the name is called. So anybody that might be curious. Sorry. It was called a Lifan, Lifan. And it looked exactly like a Mini Cooper. It was called a Lifan. Didn't have a name on the back, but on the front, that was the name of the brand. And I swear it was a Mini Cooper, but it was a Chinese model. And I need to look it up myself now. I've just got it on my phone there to remember. Yeah. How about Japanese cars? I guess Toyota's Japanese, but they make the Toyotas in Moscow. They make Toyotas in Mobile, in Alabama, in USA. So it's not really Japanese as such. On Thames, we have Richmond Park and Home Park and Bushy Park, all royal parks with deers. Yeah, a lot of squirrels in the parks here. I don't know about deers, but definitely a lot of squirrels that you can go see in the parks. What do you know about Russian celebrities? Next to nothing, apart from Timothy, the one from Stars Coffee. And no one seems to talk very well about him too well. So, how are the shopping centers in the rest of Russia? Moscow shopping centers are top. Kind regards, Hans. Yeah, honestly, okay, so it would be last year now we went to Ufa, but the shopping center there was really the same as Moscow. There's just less of them. I mean, the population is less in other cities, so they don't need as big a shopping centers. I mean, if I consider the one where we live here, it has a supermarket, it has a Belarus mini-mart supermarket, it has KFC, Burger King, it has a fitness center, has a online gaming place for kids, has perfume shop, electronics shop, computer shop. It has a big dollar store. It has everything I need in this shopping center. I wouldn't say there's probably big differences, but there's just less of them, less shopping centers, less need for them. Do Russians celebrate Halloween? I know my neighbor has sent me an email about coming to Halloween with his kids. Another neighbor that I have. What costumes and candy and all that stuff. I don't know. I need to contact him back and arrange for one of the days at the end of the month to meet with him. And he said he'd take me out with his kids. I really don't know what or how they celebrate it technically. So, only rare thematic events. Yeah, I know. I just got an email from my neighbor saying, you're welcome to come along with us. I can arrange to pick you up even. I don't know exactly where he lives. Maybe it's not this building. So I have a lot of friends in the town here, but I don't know where they live. Visit. Hello, Russell. What do you think? I don't think he's aware of my channel. Inside Russia, Konstantin, I know him well. We've met a few times. We were living very close to each other, about 15, 20 minutes by car away. Probably 15 minutes by car away, which is very close for Moscow. Obviously, his channel has gone a little bit different to how it was a year ago when I knew him before February, I guess. He's very topical with a lot of his videos. Yeah, it's you've got to kind of like to follow that kind of topical kind of channel. You know what I mean? It's very speaking intensive. You know what I mean? Listening, trying to understand what he's explaining. So not really comment about it, but it's it's very different to how it was before when he used to do walking and talking and with his kids. So Japanese cars are bought in through Vladivostok. They're imported with right-hand drive. Oh, there you go. Well, I figure they would be, right? I mean, the fact that it's so close to the border there. Not everyone. Yeah, not anymore. Yeah, right. Well, correct. Yes, Skull Peter. Yeah, he's in Kazakhstan now. Yeah, so he's not. It's kind of weird now thinking about it. Like it's like inside Russia, but it's not inside Russia. And same with Dima from Russia. He's now in. No, Konstantin's in Uzbekistan. Unless he's moved, he's in Uzbekistan, in Tashkent. We here celebrate Halloween. One more reason to have a drink. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, right. Yeah, Konstantin's in Uzbekistan. I think Dima's in Kazakhstan. I chatted to him. No, not today. Yesterday. I just send him messages on Telegram. That's how we chat to each other. So yeah, guys, I'm going to slowly wind up the live stream. We're at an hour 45. I want to thank everyone for watching. I'm very slow to end up saying like the end of the live stream. So thanks a lot. I mean, it's very hard when I make videos about certain topics to kind of thank everybody. I know it sounds, everyone thanks for watching, things like that, but really, truly mean to get far more viewers than subscribers of the channel, of the most recent videos. It's kind of crazy to think, especially like the last video at the Da supermarket, the Russian Aldi. So I was thinking today, like the one at this electronics store, I was going to call it like the Russian Best Buy. But a lot of people around the world probably don't know what Best Buy is. It's not as worldwide of a chain. It's an American electronics store. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the thumbnail of that one. Maybe I'll just point out the price of something. But yeah, we've got 176 likes, so far more likes than people watching. So thank you for that. That's really very nice. It's crazy, actually. And even super chats today. Thank you. Where's the one I do over here? Oh, it's not showing it there now. That's silly. There was another screen where it shows it, but it's not showing it now. The super chats to thank the people who gave them. Because really it kind of just helps the channel out as a whole. I'll repeat it a lot that, if you see the microphones that I'm wearing, that was essentially super chat money for microphones. I wouldn't have got them. Well, probably would have somehow got them, but wouldn't have got them as easily. I always, like when I was at home in Australia last year with Jen, it was always like, especially because we were trying to furnish the place we were living in. It's like, paycheck to paycheck. Okay, this month we're going to buy this, or this fortnight we're going to buy this fortnight we're going to buy that. I don't want to put everything on a credit card and think that I own everything. I do use my credit card only for travel, for tickets, for just big purchases, and that's it. Mostly for travel. And I don't like having any debt if I can have any debt. F-150s or Toyota Tundras are big trucks that you see in Texas and other places in the US, South or in Moscow region. Yeah. I do notice them around. They're not, you're kind of surprised when you see them because you're like, oh, like today when I saw the one parked up at the Melodia shopping center here, it was like, oh, that's a bit weird. You know what I mean? Especially in the Prelivka, right? When you see just all very run-of-the-mill cars here. Nothing kind of fancy. Yeah. The Toyota, I think it's Prado or Toyota Land Cruisers were being made in Russia. I think in Moscow region somewhere, there's a factory where they were doing Toyota Prados and Land Cruisers. I think it's 100 and 200 Toyota Land Cruisers, I think they were called. I know that they will be. Imagine that, thinking these Toyota Land Cruisers are coming from somewhere else and they're made in Russia. Not as much as in the US. Yeah, we have the dirt trucks for moving dirt bikes around. Yeah, they're not as popular as are in the US, right? Yeah, the kind of the big utility kind of trucks. In Australia, we call them utes, utilities. They counted as trucks and can't use the left line of the road here. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, Nelly, interesting comment. Yeah, point taken with your comment. Oh, Nelly, sorry. Oh, hang on. You guys are typing quicker than I'm reading here. Yeah, Nelly, sorry. Thank you. Yeah, I guess as another Russian watching another Russian in English, yeah, I guess it's, it's going to be incredibly opinionated to take what he says as what is the situation or what is happening or, what is happening really here. My wife tells me off a lot for like being so happy and jovial and interested, even the guy at the butcher's today where we were buying some meat, the guy told my wife, he's like, your husband's always so happy and friendly and smiling and cheerful. And that's how I am, really. So, and my wife tells me, don't be so happy. And, a lot of people here are worried. And I'm like, if you look around, I mean, I walked back with my wife from town today. We met there after I was with my friend. And I'm like, if you look around, everybody's just getting on with things. It's Saturday. It's always busy in town on Saturday because non-working day. So, yeah, it always gets me in a little bit of trouble for being so happy. Ford or Ram, you would be fined for using left lanes in the city. I've never heard of that as a rule. I guess it is a rule. You're a cool guy. Teach me how to ride a bike like that. Oh, I guess you're talking to each other. Sorry. I keep seeing AA Russ, and I keep thinking Russell. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, look at that. We're doing good for time. Yeah. I'm going to say thank you, everybody. Again, thanks for the likes. Thanks for the super chats, super stickers. Again, if you do want to use super thanks, that's on a video that you're watching. If you would like to do that, again, that's completely up to you. Just putting a comment and putting a thumbs up or liking other people's comments or replying to them helps the algorithm of the videos anyway. Yeah, just basically watching the videos and supporting the channel is really up to you. I mean, I shouldn't ever tell people what to do. If anyone happens to live and shop on Amazon, I have a link in my description to go to an Amazon page, or some of the phone and camera gear that I use has got Amazon links. There is a program called Amazon Associates, which is basically where if you link to a product and you don't have to buy the product that I link. You can buy anything on Amazon once you've got there through the initial link. There is a tiny percentage of commission paid back to the Amazon Associates, if that makes sense. It's very, very tiny. So I maybe get a check about every 3 or 4 months, and it goes to Australia, and it's in a check form. And it's impossible to put in the bank and get cleared from the bank. But if anyone happens to go on Amazon, maybe click through the link from the description of the channel here. And if you do buy something else, it doesn't matter what you buy. It doesn't affect you buying it, checking out, returning it, refunding it. It has no bearing on that. It's how you click that initial click that basically links back to what would be my, I guess, Amazon Associates account. If that makes sense. You're more than welcome to click it and use it or not. I mean, not everyone has Amazon where they live around the world, so it's completely no good here in Russia to me. So, yeah. You guys are chatting here yourselves. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Yeah, hopefully, what are we at? It's 11 now, so it's kind of late already. I may not get the video before tomorrow now. Let's see. I've got about the first 5 or 10 minutes watched. The video will end up being probably 20 minutes total. I think once I edit it down and chop a bit out here and there where we were not talking about what we were looking at. Yeah, so I think it'll be like Russian regular electronics store. I was trying to think what they call like the Best Buy or Curry's or JB Hi-Fi for Australia, what the name of that is. Because it's not necessarily... Sorry. It's not necessarily just electronics. It has some phones, had some laptops, some... didn't really have any stereos or music-related stuff, but it had a lot of white goods. So I guess it's like a white goods store. And I was trying to explain to my friend what a white goods store is. It's like, white? And I'm like, just have a look what color all the washing machines, fridges are. There was some air conditioning units, some heaters. And what color are they all? He's like, white. I'm like, yeah, that's why it's called a white goods store. So, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Again, actually, we'll end up falling right under the 2-hour mark, which is my usual YouTube, well, my live stream length. I did get a couple of people say, you got to do it shorter, do it less. But it's just the way I worked it out, right? So I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just looking over at the other screen, which is really the same screen I'm seeing here. So thanks, everybody. Oh, is that beer symbols? I can't see. Do they come? Oh, yeah, it's beers clinking together. Thanks, everybody. We've still got 70 people watching. I think we peaked out at 120. Wow. 120 people. Yeah, I guess I know this is going to be controversial for the last couple of minutes, and I'll just say this, but somebody suggested that I should make videos in the lounge room, not in the kitchen, and talk about that I've left Russia. And there's a few other YouTubers in Russia, English-speaking ones. I don't know about Russian ones, but who have made videos in a room that looks like they're not in Russia, but they've said they've left Russia. And and I said this to my wife about it, and I said, people are just sending them super chat, sending them donations, sending them coffees, buy me coffees. I'm like, I don't drink coffee, but and it will help with your channel to do this, to leave and say you've left. And don't film any more videos in Moscow. Just film them all from another room. And that's it. Keep filming them like that. And I kind of thought about it. I'm like, well, I could do that for a few streams and film from the other room of the house, different color walls, different background. No one would know. I'd maybe not have wouldn't have the microphone like this set up on the boom like this, and I'm good. And super chats will be coming in like a telethon, if anyone knows what a telethon is. But 2 or 3 streams later, I'd be bored, so to speak. I wouldn't be interested anymore. It'd be hard to be interested in doing it, right? So yeah, don't do it. Thank you, Lacey. Yeah, the FSB would still know where you are. Right. I think they know anyway. I think they're not so bothered about Australian guy living in a Prelivka here. So the opinions, we are glad you're here. Thank you. That's very nice of you, Russ. Lacey, thank you. Rochelle, you guys are all long-time watchers of the channel. Bear Bull as well. Honesty is a virtue. Yeah, I mean, I could get away with it for maybe 1 video, maybe 2 videos, but then I'd be stuck because I like to get out and walk around and film and show things. I like to get out and show things. Even I know it sounds so silly about the supermarket things, but I mean, I can film them over and over and over and show different things or try to show different things each time. Even going today, tomorrow's Sunday, so it's still a busy day at the supermarket. And just show the crowds in there on a weekend, really crowds. So Sorry. Wow. Very sorry. I'm for the last couple of minutes, man, the worst part of the end of the video. Feeding. I want to see those divers feeding the fish. Stick to the truth. Yes. Thank you, Susie. Thank you for being here watching. Yes. Oh, we're going to end exactly on 2 hours. Thank you for your pleasant hour of communication. You're very welcome. Again, I can't read your name in Russian. So, yes. Dobro utro, which is good night. You want to see those? Yeah, it's 7 p.m. guy that I've got to be there at that shopping center. So if that was my local, this is the thing in Russia, right? These massive shopping centers are local to where people live. My local one doesn't have an aquarium, and I can get home in 10 minutes. It'd be about an hour and a half to get home from there. Especially now it gets dark a lot earlier. I mean, I'm not worried about going there to do it, but yeah, 7 p.m. I've got to be there for maybe they do a morning feeding. I wonder. I should ask the lady at the counter if they do a morning feeding as well. Yeah, those Russians that are abroad now just get donations from subscribers. Yeah, a lot. I mean, I'm not jealous of it in any way. I mean, Nelly, you know, obviously one YouTuber that makes a lot of super chats, like really a lot if you're watching the channels. You know, it's a lot. I mean, I was explaining to my wife, and she was in shock. And we're just very average, normal, everyday couple here. We really are. We don't have more than what we need. I know that's, yeah. So go back who pretended to leave. Yeah, it is. He pretended to leave. Yeah, and I think Natasha's Adventures last video too. Yeah, Sergei Baklikov. We chatted about him in our YouTubers group. Someone posted the screenshot of his thumbnail, and yeah, a lot of people not happy about him as Russian YouTubers about him. He's not in our group, but was only joking. Yeah, I mean, I know that he was. Well, the way he comes across, he's got very, very, very strong opinions about a lot of things, and sometimes he's not polite in his question and answering sometimes. Great live stream. Ta-ta for now. Everyone have a great weekend. Thank you, Bearable. Yes, ta-ta for now. That's very Yorkshire of you to say ta-ta. Yes, thanks everybody. Rovan, Nelly, Guy, Susie, who I can read here, Bearable, Rochelle, a few Russian names. I'm very sorry, Lacey. Thank you. Why do you use cap locks? Maybe by accident, I think. I think it's accident. Sometimes I do it and then I have to go back and delete everything because I wrote it in capitals. So capitals is considered yelling, isn't it, in online language? Yeah, I think Russia knows about me because I've got my registration at another region in Moscow. I don't live at the place where I'm registered though. So if they come knocking on that door, I'm not home. So they don't know I live here, so to speak. So yeah. All right, everybody. I'm off. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the super chats. If you do want to post a comment after the video is ended, you're very welcome to, or a thumbs up, or if you want to watch another video. Yeah, more videos to come in the next few days, and maybe a midweek or weekend live stream again soon. Yep. Bye, everybody.